G'day, it's Jim from Caligula's Horse here, and you're listening to Collision on Voice FM.
How are you?
Yeah, good. Sorry I'm running a few minutes late. Things are getting crazy over here.
Well, things are completely hectic in Caligula's Horse camp, aren't they?
Yeah, it's been a weird and busy year, but I'm not complaining, or at least not in public, you know.
Yeah. You've got a new album, which it hasn't quite been released yet, has it?
No, it's on the 16th.
The 16th of October that comes out, and you do have the single Marigold out now, but you've got a tour starting as well with the release of the album.
That's right, yeah, and basically next Wednesday we're starting off in Brisbane for an Australian tour supporting Tesseract from the UK, which is really exciting. And there's some really, really cool bands joining us for the tour. East Coast is being opened by Pliny, who I can't wait to see. It's like the tightest band in the country right now. Decidia in Adelaide, who are some of my favourites as well, favourite people as well as musicians, and Chaos Divine in Perth. So it's going to be an amazing tour.
Right, yeah. How long have Caligula's Horse actually been going?
We've been going for about 4.5, 5 years or so, and this is our third album, Bloom. So we've had Moments from Ephemeral City, which was our debut, which was originally actually just going to be a studio project, kind of one-off album, but it was received so well that Sam's our lead guitarist and the head songwriter. Sam and I basically just decided to put a band together because things were going so well and we had such a good time writing it. So then we came together and wrote The Tide's a Thief in River's End, which was sort of a darker concept album, and it was quite heavy and quite dark, just because of the plot content was quite depressing. But Bloom is a step forward from that, definitely. It's one of those where, you know, we didn't want to repeat ourselves. We didn't want to just try and match that dark energy of the second album. So we decided to make it a little brighter and more energetic. And so, so make it a little bit more vibrant. So it's definitely got stuff for fans of River's End, definitely. But I think it'll open up to a whole bunch of different people this time around as well. So, yeah, we're always going to be changing what we do.
Yeah, and you've got some interesting titles for the tracks that are on this album too.
They're all sort of growth-based. In one way or another. So when we sat down to talk about, you know, what we wanted out of the album, we basically decided that the images of growth and of life and of a celebration of life were sort of really important to the themes of this one. So as we were writing, I had all of these images in my head. One in particular, I mentioned this the other day because I'd actually forgotten. During the entire writing process, I had the image of a crumbled old brick wall, an abandoned place that had been completely overrun by vines. And that floral and kind of life, you know, nature swallowing, you know, a man-made object was an image that was in my head whenever we were writing the whole time. So we drew from that imagery a great deal. So obviously that's reflected in all of the song titles. Yeah.
Well, do you have a video? Is that an official video for Marigold, or is it?
Yeah, it's more of a listening video as such. We didn't want to do a lyric video because I'm not a big fan of those. But it's some of the artwork put together by Chris Stevenson Mangos, who was the artist for the album, and edited by Adrian Golby here in Brisbane, who's video guy. And both of them did such a tremendous job, so we wanted to really highlight the artwork and how good we think it is, just these beautiful images, along with the song as well. Because Marigold is really just sort of a listening track for the album. It's not the first single as such, so we've got a music video coming out very soon for the first single.
All right, which song is the single going to be?
The song will be Firelight, which is coming out very, very soon.
Right. And so I guess we can expect that very nature-based video?
Yeah, we put up a little teaser on our Facebook page, and a lot of the footage is sort of out in the wilderness and lots of celebration of Australian flora as well as band performance and things like that. So I'm very happy with the video. I love it. I think it reflects the song very well.
Right, yeah. But after you do these shows in Australia with Tesseract, then you're going to be going to Europe, and it looks like a pretty hard schedule you've got over there too.
Yeah, that's going to be a mad time. We're touring with a band from Norway called Shining, who are very different but very exciting. I'm really looking forward to sharing a stage with them. I think it's going to be a really sort of complimentary evening where, you know how if you'd go to like a metalcore evening or something and all the bands are going to sound roughly the same? You know, you get that kind of vibe. You know, I never enjoy playing those lineups. I think it's always better to have a variety of music, and so it's really, really cool because I think Shining come at their music with the same sort of fervor and energy that we perform with as well. So in that way, we're sort of speaking two different languages about the same topic, you know, so I think it'll be really complimentary. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
like 26 shows in 28 days or something like that. So, yeah, it's going to be busy, but great.
And this is all, like, I mean, you're hitting this album obviously hard, so you've got big plans for Caligula's Horse in 2016?
That's right. Well, I mean, we've recently signed with Inside Out Music, based out of Germany, which is one of our favorite labels in the world, which is really great. It's not something that we imagined for ourselves. When we first started the band, it's not something that you really picture happening, because some of our favorite artists are on Inside Out, like Devin Townsend, Pain of Salvation, Arion, a bunch of these artists that have influenced us over the years, and now we're sort of up there on their roster. And so it's a really strange kind of sensation. So, of course, we're going to be trying to make the most of this time and take Caligula's Horse as far as we possibly can. So, yeah, busy year next year for sure.
So I guess then that getting signed to a European label kind of makes the European market just as important, if not more so, than the Australian market.
I think it almost is, as a rule, because there's a thing for people who have toured in bands in Australia, like, it's fairly well understood that it is almost a practical impossibility to make it as an original musician in Australia. It's such a difficult thing. But just because our population is so low, the cities are so far apart, and you're just basically pouring money down a hole. And I'm not saying that it's much different in Europe, but there certainly are more people, and the cities are much closer in proximity to one another geographically. So it's kind of, there's an audience there that you have to tap into if you're going to do this full time.
Yeah.
Whether or not you go over there or you're just selling your stuff online, you have to tap into a market that's outside of Australia. Otherwise, you hit that glass ceiling of original music in Australia and you're never going to crack through it.
Yeah. And the album's called Bloom. And the song you've got out at the moment, Marigold, is more of just like a taster. It's not the official single. Yeah,
that's right. Just to give people an idea of sort of the sounds they're going to be hearing on the album, and to, get people a little bit hyped about it. And I think the response has been very, very strong. So I can't wait to see what people think of the next single. Yeah.
Do you think Firelight is going to actually sort of show a different side of the album?
Absolutely. It's a lot gentler a song. Marigold has some of our sort of trademark kind of riffy energy and strong choruses and that sort of thing. Firelight is a song about a celebration of life, but also a celebration of the fragility and brevity of human life, and how that we should be sort of relishing one another while we're here. So it's got an emotional content to it, but it's it's bittersweet and uplifting.
Yeah. And what's something that you would really like people to know about Caligula's Horse?
We need your money. No, just that we're in it to have a good time, and we would like to have a powerful conversation with people at our shows. That's one of my favorite things, is to get up and have a sing with people and have them interact and be physical and release some of that pent up energy. So come to a show and get physical and come meet us and enjoy yourself.
And give us some of your money.
Yeah. Money would help as well. Any money just lying around, just throw it our way.
Yeah. Just sit hats around the edge of the stage.
Yeah, I'll get somebody crowd surfing across with a hat out, and that's fine. That'll be great.
The Tesseract support, is this going to be your first major support, or have you done a few?
Oh, we've done heaps. Last year we played with Protest the Hero. This year with Mastodon, Opeth, the Dillinger Escape Plan. We toured the country with a band from Germany called The Ocean. It's been a very big year for us.
Wow, yeah. Well, it sounds like, the hard work that you put in has paid off, or is paying off.
Well, it certainly feels like there's a lot of momentum and excitement about Caligula's Horse right now, for sure, yeah.
So time to just about throw in the day job?
I wouldn't say that. That's one of those things, I think, as well, that people aren't quite aware of, that a lot of these bands, particularly Australian bands, a lot of bands that people would consider very successful at what they do, still support themselves with day jobs, and even if that means that they don't have to put their personal money into the band to make it work, which would be great, they're still supporting themselves by working day to day. So, I think that's an important message for people that are buying music or perhaps illegally downloading music, that it's very important that with smaller bands or bands that are just starting out, really just don't do it, because they need your help as much as possible.
Yeah, and it could be, your favourite band that you're stopping from actually getting that far.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like with your bands like Radiohead, Metallica, the biggest names in the industry, Foo Fighters, whatever else, you're not, I don't want to promote, illegally downloading music, but they're the ones that you're not hurting as deeply. I mean, the industry suffers because of that kind of piracy on the whole, but people that you are hurting directly by downloading or torrenting or leaking music are the small artists, the ones that really need every album sale that they can. So, yeah, don't do it, guys. Just don't.
Yeah, no, and good luck with the album Bloom, which is released on the 16th of October.
Exciting times.
Yeah, so if people actually then go to facebook.com/Caligula's Horse Band and give you a like, you will be sharing a link for that.
We will indeed.
And you are caligulasHorse.com. Thank you very much.
No worries. Thanks for talking with me. I appreciate it.
Have a good night, and maybe we'll catch up when you get home from Europe and find out what it was like.
Yeah, no worries. That sounds good.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
All right. Bye now.